Talking Solutions continues. I'm your host, Terry Springs. We're going to get to our show with the Josh Stevens Foundation coming up in just a few minutes. But real quick, summer starts officially this coming week. It is so intense. The heat, the sun. Be sure to protect you and your loved ones from melanoma. One of my closest friends passed less than 2 years ago from melanoma. Shelley, tell me your story.
I was diagnosed in 2007. I always tell people it looked like my mole had a mole. It was very typical to what you'd see on any of the literature on melanoma. So I went to the doctor and was trying to not have my mom bug me about this mole anymore. He said that's definitely melanoma, and I didn't know what that would mean. So I had my first excision, taking the mole off to be biopsied in 2007 in June. I would have 3 more surgeries in the next 4 weeks, and they needed to do a wider excision. It still came back with cancer. They needed to take 1 lymph node. That came back with cancer until they took all the lymph nodes underneath for my final surgery.
The friend that I referred to, her name was Shirley. She had a situation where it was on the back of her calf, a spot that bled a lot, so she wanted to get it checked out. They took 20 or 30 lymph nodes. And Shelley, when you talk about the cancer affecting the lymph nodes, basically it's spreading throughout your body, right?
It is. My armpit itched very bad, so I changed deodorants, I changed soaps, everything, not knowing that that's what was happening inside my body.
And just this simple mole that looked like, as you said, a mole on a mole.
And very small, like the size of a pencil eraser. It was on my upper arm. Calves tend to be what women show melanoma in, but mine was on my upper arm, and so my lymph nodes underneath my armpit were taken after that.
We all love to be in the sun here in Southern Nevada, which I think makes it an even more important topic to discuss here on Talking Solutions. But melanoma is far deadlier than most people realize. I was looking at some of the stats. Every 59 minutes, someone in the U.S. dies from melanoma.
That's true. Of the 3 skin cancers, melanoma is the deadliest. I've also had 2 other skin cancers after that, but melanoma was my worst and roughest journey.
When you were going through all of this treatment, through everything related to your melanoma on your arm, on that mole, you said you had multiple surgeries. Mm-hmm. Did it take you off work? Were you on all kinds of drugs? What was happening in your life because of this simple little mole?
I actually didn't work for 6 years. Did not know that it would affect how I feel, how I can move throughout the day. I was put into garments wrapped up for my arm to cause the swelling to go down, because once you have your lymph nodes removed, you have the chance of having lymphedema afterwards. And that's what was more debilitating. So even though I got through my 4 surgeries, I was then left with something I'll battle the rest of my life. So it's not just an end with the surgeries or an end with the treatment all the time.
This happened in 2007?
2007.
And it's not ever going to end as far as you watching for it?
No, because I was diagnosed 2 more times in the last 9 years with basal cell. That's also one of the easier skin cancers, but not always so easy. I then had my scars keloid and had to have treatment for that. So it just seems to be ongoing. And what I was told was that it's what you do between the ages of 13 and 25. And it can continue to show up no matter how much sunscreen and protection I use for the rest of my life.
It's a very good thing to point out, because we do hear that kids, especially teens, are so indestructible. And I remember we had a high school radio station back in Kansas back in the day. It was a long time ago. We'd go out and we'd do car washes, raise money for our cause, and we would get these blistering sunburns. We did not care for ourselves with sun protection or covering ourselves properly from the sun. There's amazing after effects. Jennifer, you're with the American Cancer Society. I'm sure that you talk about all kinds of different cancers, but specifically on melanoma, 13 to 25, you said, Shelley?
Yes.
During those early life years, the things you do have impact that can come back and affect you way down the road.
Yeah, and as Shelley was talking, I was thinking about most of our educational materials around skin cancer are really geared towards parents, making sure that parents understand how to protect their children's skin and to educate themselves and their children. You know, we always talk about slip, slap, slop. Slip on a shirt, slap on some sunscreen, slap on a hat, and make sure that you're covered, because the best thing that you can do to protect your skin is cover up. And sunscreen's a part of that, but having on long sleeves, it might be hot outside, but covering with clothing is the best thing you can do.
You could do a light cotton, longer sleeve shirt, cover that skin, and it would help. Jennifer, when you say that with the American Cancer Society, one of the things that you try to do with melanoma is educate the parents. If we instill in our children at an early age the importance of protecting themselves from the sun, that can make a lifetime of difference.
Absolutely. I have 2 small children at home, and we have a rule. If if you're not wearing your hat, you can't play outside. And, if it's a cloudy day, it can still be at risk, but, we'll be a little flexible then. But if it's a sunny day and they're playing outside, they have to have their hats on. And I have their little towhead kids. I'm worried not only about their arms and legs, but their scalps and their ears. My dad has had several cancers removed just from the backs of his ears. So I think we have to be very careful.
A friend of mine here in the building golfs a lot and has for decades. I know that he's gone in several times. He had basal cell. He had a secondary one that started with the letter S.
Squamous cell.
Squamous cell. I'll learn these as we go along. But being out and playing on a golf course on a very hot summer day here in Las Vegas or anywhere exposes you to a lot of risk. There are sun protectants. I never remember seeing a 50 SPF for children, but they've gotten a lot better about making those available on the market.
What we hear is that you have to go with a minimum of 30. So if you are looking for a 30, you'll probably be okay. It's just a matter of remembering to put it on, to reapply it. If you're swimming, if you're sweating, reapply. And I just recently was out at a parade and it was a nice cool day, but the sun was shining. I just wasn't even thinking. At one point I got warm and I took my jacket off. And of course, that's when I got sunburned. It's not just when it's a hot day outside that we have to pay attention. That's when you think about it sometimes. But keep in mind, those sunny days can get you even if it's cool outside.
That phrase is pretty important because it can lead to such consequences. I wasn't thinking.
Mm-hmm.
My worst burn was on an overcast day. I ended up with 4th degree burns from the sun. And like you say, it's an overcast day. You don't think about it. I didn't feel my skin burning, so I didn't think there was a problem.
They say one of the things about living here in Southern Nevada also is the fact that our humidity is so low, you don't feel it until you're well into it.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking today about melanoma awareness with the American Cancer Society. For people who are listening today, what things they can do to help protect themselves. For instance, in a situation where you might have something that turns out to be melanoma that is truly a risk not only to your health but to your life. Shelley, what do you as a melanoma survivor suggest?
The first things are definitely prevention, and early detection was key. If I had listened to all the people in my life telling me, Shelley, that mole looks a little different, you should get it checked out, it probably wouldn't have been stage 3. So definitely prevention and early detection. Like Jennifer said, our goal is to educate the community. I speak at Girl Scout troops and all that, trying to educate our youth, because if you don't educate them, like my mom didn't know I should have sunblock on, and being out by the water attracted the sun more. So education is all I can impress on people. After that would be early detection. If you feel something is not right, go see a doctor.
I'm hyper aware of danger relating to melanoma, especially because I lost my very close friend, lost another older family friend in the same year, both from melanoma. Jennifer, what do we do as far as monitoring and keeping track? Because truly the marks, the moles on your body, they change over time.
Absolutely. If you live with somebody else in your household, team up. You look at their back, they look at your back. You don't have to be terribly uncomfortable with these things. Just pop on a robe and say, hey, can you look at my back real quick, and make sure, if you constantly have that partner in crime, they'll make sure that you're looking okay, and vice versa. That's at a bare minimum, okay? Otherwise, you should really have an annual appointment with a dermatologist to have them check everything, make sure your skin looks good. I go every 6 months, basically, to see my dermatologist. I don't have any problems. I'd like to keep it that way. And I rely on that dermatologist to check every inch of my body and tell me that things are looking good. And even though I have a husband at home, he might overlook something. I'd like the doctor to...
Is he not paying as close attention as you might suggest?
I don't know.
Maybe not as close as a doctor.
Exactly. Okay. So at least the doctor has the 6-month records and takes pictures and pays attention. And that's what I'm really after.
Yeah. And we do want to watch things that change over time because, as you said, early detection is key. And Shelley, as a melanoma survivor, talking to Girl Scout troops, young people really need the knowledge that excessive sun exposure and what's happening in their lives between about, what are the ages again?
13 to 25.
That's the critical time frame. Not like we should all ignore it at any other time, but especially be aware that during those formative years that we're taking extra care, and parents are taking extra care to make sure their kids are covered.
Key is education. Since I've partnered with the American Cancer Society and volunteered for them, they've provided me absolutely every statistic and detail, which doesn't always catch kids' eyes. So I come out with sometimes stickers and sunblock and really teaching them. And I even spoke at the cosmetology school to the estheticians to not be afraid to say to somebody, yeah, I would get that checked out.
Really smart thing to do. We got some pretty intense sun here in Southern Nevada, but it can truly happen anywhere. Jennifer, from the standpoint of the American Cancer Society, when people approach you, are they looking for information, for assistance, for help, all of the above?
Yes. We find that the moment a person hears the words that they have cancer, the first thing they want is information. The American Cancer Society is the #1 source of cancer information in the world. If you visit our website, cancer.org, there are thousands of pages on all types of cancer that will help people start to navigate their journey. We also have a 1-800 number, 800-227-2345. That phone number is available 365 days out of the year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You will find a cancer specialist on the other end of that line. They can answer the calls in any language. They'll have translators available to make that happen. So anybody can call our 800 number for help at any time to understand more about what they can expect from their cancer journey. There are oncology nurses on staff there that if the questions get too technical for the person who picks up the phone, they can schedule an appointment with one of those oncology nurses to make sure that they can get into some more detail about what to expect. So there's a lot of information available for cancer patients. And what we want folks to know in the community from the American Cancer Society is that you are not alone. If you need to call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning to have a conversation about what you're feeling, then call us. We are there for you all the time. We're there, and we'll be glad to engage with this community and hope that everybody who has been affected by cancer knows that they have a home with the American Cancer Society.
And the number that Jennifer was just talking about, the 24/7 contact us to find out about cancer, is 800-227-2345 at cancer.org.
Keep it simple.
It works for me, cancer.org. There are so many things that people go through when they're newly diagnosed. They go through the whole denial phase, and we have the different phases of any kind of an illness like that. But to have someone who's already been on the other side of it, like you, Shelley, that kind of insight, that warm, welcoming, I'm here to talk, whatever you need, just to give that extra information is so helpful.
And even for their caregivers, there was a gentleman who was diagnosed, and his wife asked me about what my husband went through. So those caregivers, they need that information too, and they can get that same help from the American Cancer Society.
Lots of resources.
One thing I'd mention is that a cancer survivor in the American Cancer Society's eyes is at the moment of diagnosis. So the moment you hear the words, you have cancer, we consider you a cancer survivor. You're living through it every single day.
I like your positive attitude. From day one of being diagnosed with a cancer, you're considered a cancer survivor. What a great talk, Shelley, Jennifer, talking about melanoma, the American Cancer Society. Thank you so much for coming in today for Talking Solutions.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Talking Solutions, I'm your host, Terry Spring. Still to come on today's show, do you know about the Josh Stevens Foundation and the amazing things they do with kids? You'll find out about it and the great fundraiser up next.
I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school.
Summer isn't fun when you're hungry.
Give me a math quiz. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I wish I was in school.
If your child relies on free school lunches, we can help provide them with free meals this summer. Together, we're feeding America.
Contact 3 Square Food Bank at www.3square.org. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Today on Talking Solutions, Reed Alewel, owner of Pinot's Palette, which is one of those paint and have a beverage and something to eat and have fun places, right?
That's right.
You're part of this event that goes on all summer called Paint, Drink, and Dine. And the organization that benefits would be the Josh Stevens Foundation, where you, Jennifer Morss, are the executive director.
Yes, I am.
Thanks for coming in, both of you. It's not just a one-day event. In fact, it's going on several times throughout the summer. Pinot's Palette, you've got 2 of those.
That's correct. We have one in the district at Green Valley Ranch in Henderson, and we have our second one over in Boca Park near Summerlin. But this event is at Crazy Pita in Town Square. Our tagline is Paint, Drink, Have Fun, and this tagline is Paint, Drink, and Dine. So we're actually adding the food element at Crazy Pita.
Crazy Pita, one of my favorite places. The hummus is unbelievable. All of you are working together. Crazy Pita, Pinot's Palette, and the Josh Stevens Foundation. How did that come to be?
We got a call from Crazy Pita about doing a Paint, Drink, and Dine event at their place. And so we were just there visiting and talking and strategizing, and they mentioned that they were heavily involved with the Josh Stevens Foundation, which my wife and I also know the Josh Stevens Foundation founders, Drew and Barbara Stevens. So I think this would be much more successful if we tagged on a charity to the event. And Maida, the owner of Crazy Pita, is a big fan and big supporter of Josh Stevens Foundation. So it just kind of serendipitously came together. And just like that, it was done. That's what we decided to do.
And Jennifer, since you are the executive director, could you tell us what it's all about?
Absolutely. The Josh Stevens Foundation was born out of the heart of a young boy named Josh Stevens, who died a month before his 13th birthday in a tragic accident. He had an incredibly kind heart, and his parents knew very early on that that kindness was something that needed to be celebrated in the heart of others. And so they started the Josh Stevens Foundation, which encourages more kindness more often. Most people are familiar with our Be Kind t-shirts that you see around town or across the country. We actually now are in 350 schools in 12 states.
Whoa.
We now have 2 schools in Africa. So we've grown very quickly in such a short time, but it's all out of the kindness of a young boy named Josh Stevens.
The loving hearts of kids can be so amazing. And you tell me that Josh did not actually make it all the way to the 13th birthday.
That's right. Josh actually passed on September 5th, which was a month before his birthday. That would have been October 5th. And the courage that his parents have maintained to start this foundation and encourage its continued growth is just amazing. Drew continues to go out and speak to schools all across the country and share who his son was and the legacy that he left, and that importance of encouraging kids to think about their legacy and what that means to the kindness that they keep in their heart.
You're talking, Jennifer, about how the Josh Stevens Foundation has really blossomed out into other states and even other countries. Did it start here in Southern Nevada?
It did. Josh was raised in Henderson, Nevada. He was born in Henderson. Our foundation is in Henderson. The majority of our schools are Clark County schools. However, we are a transitioning city. And so through that transition, teachers have gone to other states and started in other school districts. And we really have just seen that love and support that they've shown for Josh's foundation in getting their new schools to become their Be Kind schools.
I love one of the commercials that we see on TV. And we talk about the kindness factor that was a big part of Josh's heart and his life. And those human kindness spots that run for Dignity Health. Exactly. The one of the little kids on the ice rink.
It's beautiful.
And one reaching down and helping another little kid up. Coming from children, it's so pure.
Yes, and that's what we try and do through our positive messaging. So many times kids hear what not to do. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Be kind is such a simple message that kids can truly absorb into their heart. And it's a great feeling for teachers to get to catch kids being kind as well. You know, they get caught being kind. They get a very special lime green bracelet that says, I've been caught being kind like Josh. And that is an all-around good feeling. It's a great feeling to get caught being kind, and it's a great feeling to catch someone else being kind.
Well, think about how hard the job of a teacher is these days. This is what I imagine. You're correcting all the bad things that kids are doing. And so finally you get to turn around and you get to celebrate the good.
Yes, and that's what we tell kids. It's about genuine acts of kindness. It's not just going and picking up a piece of paper and throwing it away and saying, look, I was kind. You're not going to get caught being kind every time you do something kind, but those kindness champions are out there and they're looking. And sooner or later, that kindness that you've shown, that kindness that you carry in your heart is going to be celebrated. We don't believe it's a reward. We believe that it's just a celebration of the kindness that you've shown someone else.
And it's an approach to life.
Yes, absolutely.
The way we should all be, adults, kids, everybody. We need more kindness in this world.
Yes, and through our retail line, not only do we do all of our school program, but we carry a full line of Be Kind gear through our website. And anytime that you order a shirt, you know that 92% of that shirt purchase is going towards supporting our kindness programming in schools. And you also receive a Caught Being Kind card that then you, not only do you receive the shirt to wear, but you get to go out into your community and catch someone being kind, which people love to be able to do that as well. It's a great feeling.
On the website, joshstevensfoundation.org. I went there a week or two ago when I first heard about this summer fundraiser, Paint, Drink, Dine. And the first thing I saw was Be Kind. I just love that because that's my idea of the way to approach life anyhow, and that perfectly fits the way I think. But you're telling me I could shop?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that until now. I didn't look deep enough on the website. I'm thinking gift time.
And anytime you go into any of the 3 Crazy Pita locations, downtown Summerlin, the district at Green Valley, or Town Square, they also carry all of our shirts in stock there. So you can purchase shirts right from Crazy Pita when you pick up your chicken pita. We've got our shirts there as well.
An extra side of hummus and pita bread. It sounds like a really wonderful event. It's Paint, Drink, Dine, benefiting the Josh Stevens Foundation. Reed is with us, owner of Pinot's Palette. Are you moving everything that you need to set somebody up for one of these wonderful paint events over to Crazy Pita at Town Square?
That's right. When you come to our studio, we're designed and built to have a painting event. I have LED light on every canvas. It's absolutely fantastic with speakers and giant big screen TVs, and our studios are very beautiful. When we move to a restaurant, it's a much different atmosphere, but it's also a fun atmosphere. It's different for our artists, it's different for our guests, and we really enjoy it. We essentially pack up our easels and our canvases and our brushes and our paint and come and set up at Crazy Pita. We move the tables around, we cover them so we don't get paint all over their beautiful restaurants, and the artist takes the guests step by step to create their own personal masterpiece. So we have 8 different classes, 8 different paintings. So each class is a different painting. We did June 2nd and June 16th. Go to our website and see all the classes and sign up directly on the website.
So we have a couple different ways we can get involved. And all of these fun events are raising money for the Josh Stevens Foundation. Now, Jennifer, as executive director of the Josh Stevens Foundation, when you get a school and a teacher involved in the kind of work that the Josh Stevens Foundation does, what exactly happens when a class or a school becomes involved with the Josh Stevens Foundation?
So the cost of the programming to any school is free. The school pays nothing towards the program. It is 100% parent supported through the sales of the student t-shirts. Normally, schools order about 150 student shirts. With that package, they receive free 70 staff shirts. If there's more staff, we tend to give more free shirts. We don't want any staff to pay for their Be Kind shirt. We appreciate everything that they do in facilitating this programming on their campus and their commitment to kindness. So every staff member receives a free shirt. Every school custom designs their Be Kind shirt, and they pick their day of the week for the entire campus to wear their custom school designed Be Kind shirt. Everyone picks a different saying so that their campus is committed to a Be Kind. Some schools will say be a superhero. There was one with a giraffe on it that said Be Kind, stand tall, because the giraffe was their mascot. And then they also receive implementation guides that go through different activities and how to implement the program. But one of the really great things about our Be Kind program is it's not set in stone, because no school is the same as another school. Every culture on every campus is different. So we give you all the tools, and then you really go ahead and make it yours. They also receive all of their kindness cards for free so that they can go out and catch kids being kind with those lime green bracelets. They receive about 305 of those. 5 is an important number at the foundation. 5 was, unfortunately, the day that we lost Josh on September 5th. It was also his birthday being October 5th. And there are, and continue to be, even with Josh's loss, 5 people in the Stevens family, with Josh's younger brother, Sam, and his older sister, Shelby, and then his 2 parents. So usually everything that we do is around 5. We have $5 shirt. We have 105 coloring books that you'll receive, which say Coloring for Kindness, that all the kids can color in the lower grades. We have CDs that are for the K through 5 that have interactive cartoons that talk to the kids about being kind. We have staff training videos, and it just goes on and on and on, the amount of things that we provide to the school. And again, it's no cost to the school. It's 100% parent supported. If the parents can't support the program, then we have scholarship programs, and we never want to say no to a school that wants to encourage kindness on their campus.
I think that's great. How long has the Josh Stevens Foundation been in existence?
8 years.
It had to start small.
It was a simple message that people could really live. You know, you can really live kindness. And it just resonated, and it grew very quickly. And that support that we love. I mean, it truly is our kind friends and supporters, such as Reed with Pinot's Palette and Medi and all of the amazing people. They're supporting us through buying a shirt or supporting us through these events. It's all word of mouth. We've never tried to get people to take on our programming and made those cold calls and said, would you like kindness? It's all been through people truly taking in and absorbing that message of just being kind. kind.
Well, think about social media and things like Facebook, and you see people doing pay it forward in the Starbucks drive-thru, the wonderful things that happen, and the kindness, it goes viral. People love seeing it. It makes us feel good. I think for most of us, it's the way we all really want to live our lives.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the programs that's new in the last 3 years is our Take 5 with Josh program. We choose 5 charities every year that benefit from the sale of custom designed shirts that represent their charity. We just did a Be Kind, Dream Big shirt that benefited Coloring for Chemo. We also had a military shirt that was for Veterans Treatment Corps. So we choose different charities throughout the valley, really throughout the country, that we then support through the sale of these shirts, because we know that there are so many charities who are spreading kindness with their own missions, and we want to help with that. We want to continue to encourage those gifts and help with their missions as well.
And the big fundraiser that's going on multiple dates throughout the summer, which is the Paint, Drink, Dine, which Reed and Pinot's Palette you are involved with, doing all of these events inside Crazy Pita at Town Square. So you bring out all the art supplies that are needed and the instructors and the support, and it becomes a wonderful, fun event. The money that is raised from these, how many events did you say?
We have 8? 8.
And most of them are still to come.
That's right.
Think about how much fun this is. And you have artwork after the fact. My husband and I, the evening that we went for our charity fundraising event, it's funny because we were both there sitting next to each other doing the same event, but our interpretation of that original painting quite different.
We'll even get the same instruction, and people hear it differently. We say, put this dot 2 fingers over from the edge of the canvas, and I've watched people, their 2 fingers are completely different than my 2 fingers, and I'm not just talking about this difference in size of my hand. And so as people create their own painting, they do it their own way. And what I like to tell people is, yes, you're all painting the same painting, but everyone will be different. They're different in their own way. It's your own personal art. That's what art's all about.
It's so cute, though, at the end when they get us all together for the group photo, and everybody's all proud and holding up their pictures and seeing the different work, and everybody's had such a great time. What a great way to spend an evening.
It is. It's fun to do, and you're also supporting a good cause. So there's kind of a double whammy to it. Just makes everybody feel good. It makes us feel good being participate. It makes Crazy Pita feel good, and it makes the guests that come feel good. It's a wonderful way to be kind to the world, if I may.
Yeah. Paint, Drink, Dine, going on a total of 8 times during the summer, but the longer you wait, the less of those options are out there. Get involved, and you get Pinot's Palette helping to guide you through the whole artistic work of art that you're going to create, and you get Crazy Pita rotisserie and grill food, because that's where you are at Town Square, the location where all these fundraisers are being held. The money that's being raised benefits the Josh Stevens Foundation. This is a great idea.
And there truly are some really beautiful paintings that are coming up in these events. So if you go to the Pinot's Palette website, you can look at the paintings right there. You can register for the event right through the website. It's so easy to do, and there are some amazing paintings on there. I'm very excited to paint some of my own.
It's going to be a great time. It's several different dates throughout the summer fundraiser for the Josh Stevens Foundation. So as far as where people would go to sign up, to look at the paintings, to decide on their date, where and when they wanted to get involved, Reed, they could go to your website.
The best place is our website, pinotspalette.com/Henderson will take you exactly to our calendar. You can get there and see each of the paintings there every other Thursday all the way into September. So find the painting you like, click on it. It's a normal internet checkout process. Make your reservation, and we'll see you there.
A lot of fun. And if you're wanting to know more information about the Josh Stevens Foundation, Jennifer, your website is joshstevensfoundation.org. Mm-hmm. And I'm betting, Reed, that on your website, you also have links, because we all have links going back and forth. And I always like to point out that all this information, the links, and a podcast of our discussion will be on the Talking Solutions Facebook page if you want to check into it. Jennifer, I'm looking at your Be Kind shirt, and I'm really wanting one of those. So I'm thinking that when I'm at Crazy Pita doing the art fundraiser, Paint, Drink, Dine, I can get the shirt, I can do the artwork, have a great time, have some great food, and support a great cause.
Absolutely. We would love for you to have one of our Be Kind shirts. And Medi with Crazy Pita is also offering 50% off all beer and wine for the event, and also one free appetizer per table. So a lot of it is already included or discounted. So the DINE part is going to be delicious. And I agree with you. The hummus, there's no comparison.
I can eat it with a spoon. I love it so much. In fact, I'm sure that I have in the past many times. It's a lot of fun. I'm just guessing what I've experienced in the past when I have gone to one of these paint-type fundraisers. The nicest people.
Absolutely. And these are people that are committed to kindness in our community. They're committed to giving to charities and organizations. Crazy Pita has some of the most wonderful people who dine there. Medi pretty much knows everyone by name. And then Reed's customers as well. I mean, they're just happy, fun, wonderful people. So these events are definitely filled with a room of really great people and new friends to be made.
I said nicest people. I should have said kindest people. That would be more on point now, wouldn't it?
That's okay. It's part of my language at this point. Everybody's kind.
That's what we want to encourage, because that's just a good life, to be surrounded by people who are also kind, just like yourself. Couldn't ask for more than that. Jennifer Morss is Executive Director of the Josh Stevens Foundation. We also have Reed Alewel, who is the owner of Pinot's Palette. We'll have all the links, as we mentioned, on the Talking Solutions Facebook page. Is there anything that I've forgotten?
No, I think we pretty much have it covered.
I think so. The event's on both of our Facebook pages as well.
It is.
I think we covered everything.
What a great way to support a great organization.
Yeah.
Jennifer Morss and Reed Alewel, thank you so much for joining us today on Talking Solutions.
Thank you for having us.
Talking Solutions is a production of the Community Relations Department here at Beasley Media Group, Las Vegas. Get more information on today's topic on our Talking Solutions page on Facebook, where you will also find links and a podcast of today's show. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.